Director for the All of Us research program at 50Forward. So she will be telling us more about this program and how we can get involved. So I will turn it over to Kelsey now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mary. And hello, everyone. I can't see everybody in the room looking at my slides, so apologies that I can't see all your faces. But just like Mary said, my name is Kelsey Mahaffey, and I'm the All of Us Project Director for 50Forward. And we are so excited to have TCCN as a new partner with us to help us promote the program, specifically just around education and outreach. So I'm here today, and my colleague Keith Richardson should be on the call as well. And we're here to present about the program, tell you all about it, and hopefully answer any questions that you may have at the end, including how your clinics can also help promote this program. So I think we're ready.
Thanks, Kelsey. And just so you know, I'll be
Sure.
monitoring the chat since you're looking at your slides.
Perfect. Yeah, and this can be real casual at any time. If anybody has a question, don't feel bad about interrupting me at all. I can't see hands, but yeah, like Mary said, if there's a question as we go along, I'm happy to answer those as we move through the slides. So, welcome to the future of health that begins with you. So I can't see all of you, but I don't know. I usually ask people how many have heard of the All of Us research program. Do we have anybody that's actually heard of the All of Us research program? I see Mary's hand looks like it's up there.
Hello there. How are you? Way down here. Oh, well, I try to stay out of their way.
Oh,
when they have clinic, you're about as far back as you can go. When they have clinic on.
thank you. I thought that was someone saying hi to me. So Future of Health begins with you, the All of Us research program. So this is a general program presentation that we have put together that we can tailor to any time frame. I'm going to give you all the extended version because we have enough time for that today. But we can also give this presentation. I've done it in as short as 10 or 15 minutes. So as we're going through the slides, if you can think about groups you might belong to or your clinics even, anyone that might be interested in viewing this presentation, we can do this virtually and in person. So this is an introduction to precision medicine and the All of Us research program. And I inserted this slide just at the beginning, just to give you all a little bit of background on 50Forward as well. If you have not heard about 50Forward, we are a 60-year-old nonprofit located in Middle Tennessee. And our mission is to support, champion, and enhance life for those 50 and over. Of course, we do that through promotion of healthy aging, assisting vulnerable seniors to age in place. We serve more than 20,000 older adults annually, and we operate 7 lifelong learning centers. We have 5 in Davidson County and 2 in Williamson County. Lots of volunteer opportunities with our organization, including foster grandparents, RSVP, and the FLIP program, which is also a tutoring program with Metro Nashville Public Schools. We also offer Meals on Wheels through our 50Forward Fresh program. And adult day services. We've actually renamed this program 50Forward Friends. We have one location that has been up and running for many years, and we are just about to open a new location for 50Forward Friends at our 50Forward Martin Center in Williamson County in Brentwood. So if you know anybody looking for adult day services, those are fantastic programs, very affordable as well. And then we have Victory Over Crime, which is another program where we assist seniors that have been victimized by crime. So there's a couple photos on here, but I'm going to kind of skip through most of this slide and get into the bulk of the presentation for the All of Us research program. And so you can see how 50Forward got involved with this initiative. So we kind of start in just basic definition. We kind of go back to square one and really, what is health research? We have found when we're talking with some groups, some people just don't even really know what is health research or why it is important. But really, health research is just the process of finding out new things about improving people's health care. And less than 10% of the US population participates in clinical trials. And why is this important? You know, participation is the more researchers know about what makes each of us unique, the more tailored our healthcare can become. A lot of our health research in this country has been done on the average white male, and we don't all look that way. This slide also introduced the National Institutes of Health, which of course is the nation's medical research agency that conducts and supports medical research. So you'll hear me refer to the NIH throughout this presentation. And this is our former NIH director, Francis S. Collins, who of course retired last year. But he actually was around when All of Us launched and loves the program. And so he's a familiar face and a friendly face with the program. So we still have him on this slide here. And this is his quote saying, "The All of Us research program is among the most ambitious research efforts that our nation has undertaken." So, what is this that we're talking about, right? What is precision medicine? And I can't see all of you, but I usually also ask for a show of hands of how many people have heard of this term before, precision medicine. I personally had not heard of this term before I started work with the All of Us research program. But really, this is just an emerging approach for disease treatment and prevention that takes the individual into account. It's a shift in how our healthcare system is currently working, from one size fits all to more tailored healthcare. Or more simply put, you can just simply say delivering the right treatment for the right person at the right time. That's another great way to look at precision medicine. So if you have heard of this term, oops, I don't know why that skipped, excuse me. If you have heard of this term before, you've probably heard about it in the cancer world, where they have had some success targeting specific molecular characteristics and certain types of cancer treatments. But really, we have our peer ambassador group that we train, which are older adult volunteers that talk in the community. And the one that kind of resonates the most with people, because a lot of people have experienced this, is simply just finding the proper dose of medication based on an individual's genetic makeup rather than standard dosing. And so, you know, this is just easily explained with you could have you and your sister both with the same diagnosis and the same medication, but you're taking different levels of medication. One might need stronger medicine than the other, and that's just simply because we're all different. And then the funnest one that we always love to give an example of precision medicine are prescription eyeglasses. So I would not be able to switch eyeglasses with another person in the room wearing eyeglasses and be able to see clearly. And that's because they're tailored to us as individuals. So here's a fun cartoon. And this came out in the New Yorker in the year 2000. Some of you may remember when the DNA was, or the human genome was first sequenced back in the year 2000. There was a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz around this. And this cartoon, you can see the woman there taking her DNA sequence to the pharmacist and saying, "All right, well, here you go. Give me my medications based on me and my own DNA." And so back in 2000, we couldn't quite figure out how to get there yet, but this is what we're trying to move towards now with the help of data. So why do we need it, right? Why is precision medicine important? So if you take a patient group, kind of like we mentioned in the earlier example, represented by different colors here, this group, they had the same diagnosis and the same prescription. Though the people that are represented by the color green, they might have a healthy reaction to the drug, where the drug is beneficial. It actually does what it's supposed to do for them. Then you have a yellow group here represented where the drug is still beneficial, but there's some mild toxicity or side effects. They may have some annoying side effects that go along with that medication. And then the group that's represented by the color red, this group actually has a severe disease risk with this drug where the drug is actually toxic. We've heard a lot of stories of like this where people have taken drugs and actually have almost died because that drug was just not made for them. And then we have the gray or white group here where the drug does nothing. I know I've personally experienced that where a doctor has prescribed, well, here, this is the medication that works best for most people. Try this. And for me, it actually didn't. It didn't do anything at all. So that's why precision medicine is important, because we all are different. So this slide kind of is a little science-y, but it's still kind of fun to talk about. Breaking down all this precision medicine with an example of just one drug. And for this example, it's clopidogrel. And of course, the brand name for clopidogrel is Plavix. And this slide is kind of showing how drugs work in the body. So you swallow the clopidogrel, and then you have an enzyme in your body. In this case, it's the CYP2C19 enzyme that breaks down that clopidogrel and turns it into this fun long name here that I will try to pronounce. It starts with the letter 2. And that's what actually works in your body to prevent you from having another heart attack. So here's where DNA plays a part, because what if somebody is missing that enzyme, that CYP2C19? Wouldn't it be great to know that ahead of time? And so the doctor would know in advance, not to prescribe clopidogrel because they won't be able to break that down in the body. So Vanderbilt kind of figured this out early on, and they came up with a system. They started sequencing people's DNA and started filing that into a database. And so if you were at Vanderbilt and you had a doctor and you were missing that enzyme, you'd had your DNA sequenced, and they tried to prescribe you clopidogrel, the doctor would receive this warning on their screen, letting the doctor know, hey, this person does not have the enzyme needed to break down this drug, so you should consider using an alternate medication. So this is just one example with one drug of how precision medicine can help make treatments and medications more tailored to us and more effective for us from the beginning. And this is what we want to do for the future of health with all of our treatments and medications. So how do we get there, right? How do we make this happen? So this fun slide here, of course, Hubble has been retired now, but we still like to use this slide. The image on the left, of course, is the Hubble Space Telescope that was launched. And then on the right, you can see there's a comparison image there. There's a picture on the left of the night sky that astronauts had taken pre-Hubble, kind of a shot in the sky with the equipment that they had. And then the comparison image on the right is Hubble's first image of the same spot in the sky that shows 50% more detail. So you can see a few more stars, little bit of, couple stars, some more shining little spots here and there. But really, a lot of people saw this image and they were disappointed. They said, hey, we've spent millions and trillions, billions, however many dollars, and this is all that we're really going to see. We're not that excited about this image. But they kept Hubble up and let it take picture after picture after picture and collected all of that data and put that data together. And after 10 years of expansion, we get this picture. So now you can really see how the night sky has been improved from all that just a couple little spots here and there, and how much more clearly we can see what is actually out there. And then this slide is fun. I don't know if anybody follows the James Webb telescope, which is our newest telescope out there, but even more stunning images that are coming out of the night sky, with data collection and with just improving over time. So really cool images. I encourage anyone to check out that website if you're into the stars. Okay, so let's talk about the All of Us research program now that we've got a little bit of background on precision medicine, and learned what that is all about. How are we going to make this happen? And enter the All of Us research program. That's what we're here to do. The All of Us research program wants to speed up health research breakthroughs and advance precision medicine. And specifically, we're going about this by recruiting 1 million or more people living in the United States over the course of 10 years to volunteer and share their health information. This is a slide that we like to show when the program was first announced back in 2015. This was then President Barack Obama at the State of the Union address. And he had announced, the program was actually the Precision Medicine Initiative. There were groups in talks with Vanderbilt of how can we take what's happening at Vanderbilt and take this to a national scale and include more people. And that's how the whole program started. And so this was when he announced the launch of the All of Us research program. And you can see there, he's saying, I want the country that eliminated polio and mapped the human genome to lead a new era of medicine. And what we love about showing this slide is that everybody stood up during the announcement of this program. Both sides of the aisle stood up. And the program continues to receive bipartisan support. One of the few programs, I think, federally that people don't argue too much about. Really, everybody is very excited about the All of Us research program now in its third administration, since it launched back in 2018 live to the public. So a few facts about the All of Us research program. So this is national, this is federal. It's led by the National Institutes of Health. And like we mentioned, they are seeking 1 million or more volunteers that reflect the broad diversity of the United States. So this is not a traditional research study, where typically you might find 2,000 people in Wisconsin and study cancer. This is just so much more broad than that. This is using data. So the idea is to collect all of this rich information from all across the country and then compile that data together in one place that will inform a variety of research studies, whatever researchers are wanting to study. The program expects to last 10 or 20 years. And it's already the most diverse cohort of its kind, with over 80% of those that have enrolled so far coming from underrepresented communities in biomedical research. And this also includes rural people that live in rural communities. U.S. citizenship is not required to join the program. They don't ask that, so it's not anything that you have to let them know. Like we mentioned, the program does have bipartisan support, and we have over 600,000 that have enrolled since 2018. So we're well on our way to getting that 1 million number. And then the program is also fully translatable in Spanish. This is a web-based program, so people do join online and answer health surveys. And so they can convert that website completely over to Spanish. So this slide just shows some kinds of questions that this resource may help answer. Really, the sky is the limit. Anything that researchers are wanting to study to help make our lives better and make treatments and medications for us better, they would be able to apply and be able to access the data and begin their studies. So here's some examples here. How would we be able to prevent chronic pain that affects more than 100 million people each year? How could we slow or potentially even stop different kinds of dementia? This is a question we get asked often, of course, presenting with older adults. They want to know, are there Alzheimer's studies currently happening? And the answer is yes. There are actually 25 studies on dementia alone happening right now with the data from the All of Us research program. Also diabetes, that's a big one there. So how do we develop better treatments, better preventions for diabetes? Why is it affecting certain groups more than others? Maybe we can even prevent diabetes altogether. So these are just some examples of some of the questions that the data hopes to answer. So this slide talks a little bit about kind of how the All of Us program works. Step one, anybody across the country can enroll if it's something that speaks to them. They do this online by creating an account, and then they have to go through a consent process. If you've ever been to Vanderbilt and seen some of their consents, it's very similar. It's all laid out in videos, so it's not just reading. You can actually watch the videos for your consent process. Excuse me. And then the participants start answering health surveys. Some of the health surveys are family health history, environmental health surveys. We actually have a mental health survey that's about to be released. Social determinants of health was our last biggest survey that was released. Participants can also share their electronic health information. So that EHR that carries with you from doctor to doctor, you can share that with the program as well. You can also share your blood and urine and physical measurements. Of course, when you choose to share the blood and urine, that's how they get your DNA, which is a really big perk for people that want to join the All of Us research program, because they really want to receive their health genetic results back. That's kind of where we are right now. People are starting to receive their health results back. And so that's really exciting because we've been waiting for that, the participants that have joined for a while. You can also hook up your Fitbit, which is kind of fun. We have several people that have hooked up real-time data to the program. So that's another thing that you can also share. And then, of course, a big part of this is then once you've shared your data is then protected. We're actually going to watch a little video if we can get it to play correctly. So we'll pause on that and talk more about data in just a bit. And then this is kind of where we are right now in the process where researchers are studying data. We have, I think there are close to 4,000 current studies happening right now with data from the All of Us research program. So we're in that phase of where the researchers are actually on board and they have begun to use the data that the program has curated. And of course, the hope is then that they're going to find patterns and make the next big medical breakthroughs, make discoveries, and then make those treatments more tailored to us as individuals, just making our whole healthcare system safer. And of course, participants get information back. That's a really, really big perk of the program. The research program sees the participants as partners, so it's a very reciprocal relationship. Everything that you have given to the All of Us research program, you still have access to in your All of Us dashboard. And then, of course, that last one there, where we hope that research, they will make those discoveries and make our healthcare system better. So this slide right here is just kind of some core values of the All of Us research program. Open to all, access to information, accessible data, reflecting diversity, participants and partners, of course, building that trust. And so a little bit about diversity. We like to talk about diversity and what we mean when we say diversity. And this slide here is just reminding us this is the program's biggest success, and really the program will not be a success unless this number stays over 75%. But right now, over 80% of all of us participants are coming from communities that are historically underrepresented in biomedical research. So diversity, this just kind of expands a little bit and talks a little bit more about what we mean when we say diversity, because it's not just race and ethnicity, although over 50% of the program participants are coming from diverse race and ethnicity backgrounds. But we're also talking about other communities that are underrepresented in biomedical research. And that includes older adults and also those that are living in rural communities. And so this is one reason FiftyForward was one of the first national community partners with the NIH to begin education about the All of Us research program was specific to these two communities. So we're also talking about health statuses. We get this question a lot, or sometimes a statement where people will come up and say, well, I'm too sick. You don't want me. You just don't want me. I have too many things wrong with me. I'm taking too many medications. Well, actually, we do want you. We want to know, what have you been diagnosed with? What medicines are you taking? Why aren't they working for you if they're not? Why are they working for you if they are? And then conversely, we also need those healthy people. You know, sometimes I have an 85-year-old come up to me, and frequently they think we're selling health insurance. So they'll, oh, I don't need that. I'm so healthy. I'm 85 and I don't even take any medicines at all. You know, really, that's incredible. We need you. We need to know what's in your DNA. We would love to know, what is it about you and your lifestyle that has helped you so that you have stayed so healthy all these years and have been able to not take medications. So you can see when we're talking about diversity, there's some other factors there other than just the race and ethnicity piece. And just a reminder, if anybody has a question, I can't see you all, so just jump right in case you do. I'm going to take a quick sip of water right here. Thank you. Allergies. So here's a few stats from underrepresented populations. This first one here is important because it's kind of why FiftyForward is involved. But adults over the age of 65 consume about 1/3 of all medications, yet most clinical trials consist of participants from 18 to 64 years old. You know, so you can think about that. That could be important. They're not really studying medications for older adults that older adults might take, or they're studying that on younger populations. African Americans and Hispanics make up 30% of the US population, but they account for only 6% of participants in medical research. So here's an example of where if your community is not represented in the research, then you could be left out of the cure. And this is what we don't want. The LGBTQ community is at higher risk for numerous health conditions, and they are one of the most underrepresented communities in research. We're still trying to learn a lot about that community. And then 80% of adults age 65 and older have at least one chronic condition, and 77% of them are managing 2 or more chronic conditions. So again, that 85-year-old that is completely healthy and not taking medication, wow, we want to know how How is that happening? So this slide here talks a little bit about what someone can gain by participating in the All of Us research program. So a big seller for us when we're talking with older adults is that number 2 on there, which is that an opportunity to help fight disease and improve the health for those future generations. This is a longitudinal study, and we're really talking about changing the future of medicine. So this really speaks to older adults who have children and grandchildren, and they really want to see a healthcare system for those generations that is more tailored. It's also an opportunity to learn some of your own health indicators and get your own data back. So that kind of speaks to that part of anything you give to the program, they're going to give those results back to you. And the biggest one there, again, is that DNA, those health-related DNA results that people are anxious to get those back. And number 3, really the opportunity to ensure that your community is included in the studies that may lead to new understandings and new treatments. So we've learned that a lot of times rural populations have been left out. Hospital groups that are more in urban areas and research projects and studies that are happening in more urban areas. And so this program is unique in that anybody can join anywhere in the country through the computer, through an online platform. And so it's an opportunity to have those to have those communities participate now if it's something that they choose to do. And then, of course, the opportunity to be part of a movement to make our healthcare more precise, more personal, and more effective, which we've been talking about. And again, this just speaks to that the older adults, by joining the program, leaving that legacy for future generations. This is our big seller. People that get what the program is doing, this is what they're really getting, that they're going to be able to leave something behind for their children and their grandchildren. This slide is just really a snapshot. Another neat thing about the All of Us research program is it does have an app. So there's some fun games on there where you can compare your health to other people in your age bracket. And so you can always have access to your data also. So this is just kind of showing a snippet of what that looks like if you did have an app on your phone. Oh, and let me mention this too, because people do ask this a lot. Even though the All of Us research program is open to researchers across the country studying a variety of diseases, there may be times where researchers want to study a specific disease. Let's just use Alzheimer's, for example. And there could be an opportunity for people that are already in the All of Us research program that have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Researchers might be able to contact those people if they choose. You always get to choose yes or no if you want to be contacted. But if you did choose yes, that opportunity could be there where researchers might reach out specifically to certain people with a certain disease and study that specifically. So this slide is just the promise for participants. Of course, we're still talking over and over, but that opportunity to improve the health of future generations, the chance to learn about your own health, the ability and choice to access your data, including your health records, the opportunity to ensure your community is included in the studies. We talked about this one, the chance to learn about additional research opportunities, and the choice to meet others like you, perhaps even joining some of them to propose and do research, which honestly we have seen with our older adult peer ambassadors that help with the program. They are a passionate group about the All of Us research program, and they have become friends. So this is our video that I was talking about, hoping that everything will show okay with sound, with the data security and privacy. So this is only, I think, a couple minutes long. It's not long at all. But I know I've showed it before and the sound has not been working, and I've never tried it on Teams. So Mary, if the sound doesn't work, just let me know and we can skip that. We can skip the video. But let's see if we can get this to play.
I don't hear any sound, Kelsey.
Shoot. All right, let's see. I wonder how to fix that on Teams. Anybody know how to? I've only got a mute button on mine. Get the... Oh, wait a minute. Here's, what does that do? Let me try this just in case. I did find a button.
No, still not hearing it. Sorry. I don't know how to do that either. I'm sorry, I'm not any help.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm not sure either how to add the sound. Let me click one more. I've got a camera, but I don't have a sound. So I can always send this out to you. It's a quick video, but really what they're talking about, the biggest thing here, is the, let me see if I can go back one. There. When we're talking about data security and privacy, of course, the program holds itself to the highest privacy and security standards. Information is stored in protected computers. Vanderbilt is the lead institution in charge of the data. So they are the lead, the head agency. This is happening right here in Middle Tennessee, all of this data being built and protected for researchers. But the biggest piece we try to help people understand is that your data is de-identified. So before it ever goes to researchers, any identifying information such as your name, your address, anything that the program has, that's removed and it's replaced with a numerical code. And so when researchers are studying the data, they have no idea who you are, where you live, who you could be, any of thing like that. So that's the big takeaway, that the data is de-identified. And we will skip that again. I might have to run this to the end to skip it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now this is another big question that we get a lot. People ask us, well, has this been done before? Has anybody tried to collect data and study something over time? So the short answer is yes, it has been done before, but just not to this scale. Nothing this large has been built before. Nothing with 1 million people has been built before. But we do have some examples through the years, and one of the more famous ones is the Framingham Heart Study, which you may have heard about. And this started in 1948, where they enrolled over 5,000 men. They added women later. And specifically, this study was looking at the heart. And this photograph you can see here, this was a 1945 Yalta conference. And I usually ask, does anybody know who's in this photo? Anybody want to shout out who's in this photo if you know?
Winston Churchill?
Yeah, that's one. You got that one. Yep. We've got Churchill and we've got Stalin and we've got Roosevelt. So this photo was taken, I believe, just a couple days before Roosevelt passed away. And when he did pass away, his blood pressure, I think it was 240 over 160. And I always mess up that number a little bit, but crazy, crazy high. Just insane blood pressure. And his doctors that were with him were quoted as saying, we don't know. His blood pressure was 240 over 160. And for some reason, a blood vessel popped. We don't know. And so as a result of that, the Framingham Heart Study started looking at the heart and looking at blood pressure and started making some discoveries. And it's just funny, this slide, I always love talking about it because some of the stuff here that they discovered to us now is just common sense, right? So 1960, they discovered cigarettes increase heart disease. 1961, cholesterol and blood pressure increase heart disease. 1967, exercise decreases risk of heart disease. And then not until 1970, and this was 1945 when Roosevelt passed away, not until 1970 did we realize that high blood pressure and atrial fibrillation cause stroke. So it's just funny to think about all of these things that just we know today, we just take it as common knowledge. But think about, 50 years from now, what are we going to be looking back on that looks like this list here, where they're saying, oh my gosh, in the year 2023, how could they not have known XYZ causes cancer? So it's fun to project into the future and think about some of those unknown discoveries that are still yet to come. So this slide right here is photos of our groups of peer ambassadors. And this is really kind of what we do when we're out in the community. Our peer ambassadors are really the key for us to connect with people. I can sit here all day long and do a big long presentation about the All of Us research program, but this lovely group, they're so passionate. One of them can stand up and share their personal story about why the All of Us research program speaks to them and why it's important to them, and they can sell a room in 2 minutes. So I love this group, and Vera Coleman right there in the center, she is just a shining star for the All of Us research program. She's one of the first African-American female researchers from Vanderbilt University back in the 1960s. And hopefully she won't mind me telling you, but she is 88 years young. And just 2 weeks ago now, or maybe it was last week, my days are running together, we actually did an event at Fisk University for Black History Month, where Miss Vera was one of our featured panelists for an intergenerational panel that featured Black researchers. So they are just fabulous. They're wonderful. They help staff all of our events, like I said. And I love this quote from one of them this was John Tanner, that said, "I've been a volunteer my entire life, and this is the single most important volunteer job I have ever had." So that just kind of speaks to their passion. And then here are some photos of them at work and us at work and just staffing events. You can see some of the materials that we have. If your clinics ever have an event or a health event, or a fun day, sometimes we do bingo. We'll come and talk a little bit about the program and then do something fun. We actually do have an All of Us bingo that we can play. So these are just some shots over the past year. The fun lady in the center, with the green with the walk with the doc, that's Dr. Amy Price Neff, who's one of our partners. We actually partnered with her for Walk with a Doc, which is a national walking organization. Actually, it's international now. Walk with a Doc is. But we meet every month at Centennial Park, all the 50Forward centers, and Dr. Amy Price Neff, she gives a health talk and we all walk around the park together. So it's a great time. Here are some of our local partners for the All of Us research program. You can see Nashville Cares, the Larry Keaton Theater, Sri Ganesha Temple, Conexión Américas, Blood Assurance, that's our clinic in the Nashville area, and then of course TCCN, our new partner with you all. These last couple slides just kind of show some of the breadth of who is partnering with the All of Us research program across the country. This slide on the very, very bottom, you'll see the 50Forward logo, along with the Asian Health Coalition, the National Alliance for Hispanic Health, Delta Research and Educational Foundation, National Libraries of Medicine, PrideNet, Stanford. All of these groups are national community engagement partners that have been tapped by the NIH to help spread the word about the All of Us research program. And even tinier, you can see some of the other consortium members, some of the clinics, the HPO networks. Down there on the very, very bottom, it's hard to see the Data and Research Center, the DRC, is Vanderbilt University, again, right here in Middle Tennessee. And so we are concluding this presentation. Just like the Hubble Space Telescope was able to create a clearer picture of the night sky, we really hope that the All of Us research program can do the same and help us bring those unknown health discoveries to the forefront that will benefit generations to come. Oh, I don't know why we went backwards there. So how to get started, website, joinallofus.org/50forward. That will let the program know that you heard about it from 50Forward. And the apps, this is a picture here. If you are curious and you're looking at the app, we encourage people to pick the white app. It's a little confusing that there's two, but there are more benefits to the white app on there, including saliva kits for people that are not able to access a clinic, and also mail-in kits for that DNA. Again, our website is here, joinallofus.org/50forward. And I'm happy to answer any questions. My contact information is on here. If you know anyone that might like this presentation, or if you think it might be something one of your clinics might like to see. And we'll stop there with The Future of Health Begins with You. So just encourage all of you to visit that website and learn more about the All of Us research program, and consider joining or just help spreading the word to somebody that you think might really enjoy participating. And I think I can stop sharing. I can find you all
Kelsey.
again. Let
That
me try
was
to stop.
wonderful.
There we go. Okay.
There you are. That was wonderful. Thank you. Learned some new things about the All of Us research program. I'm actually thinking about signing up myself now. So very, very convincing. There's a couple comments in the chat. And anyone who's still on can come off mute and ask some questions of Kelsey directly as well. Sabrina Blue in Jackson, she just had a comment that they would welcome a 50Forward type program in Jackson because they don't have any senior centers in that area. So just something to note there. And Billy from Free Medical Clinic asked if we could get a recording of this info for their clinical staff. We did record today, so we can share that. It did sound like Kelsey would also, that their program also could do a presentation for any clinic that's interested. Is that right, Kelsey?
Yes, that I'd be more than happy to do this virtual or in person, as long as we don't want to go probably more than 2 hours outside of Nashville. I'm not sure where everybody is coming from, but within 2 hours, that's about our limit to travel in person. So very happy to do this. I've done it as few for a group as 2 people to 20 people to 100 people. So yeah, my contact information. I'll put that in the chat too, so you guys can reach out.
Excellent. Thanks. Anyone else have any questions? All right. Well, Kelsey's putting her information in the chat and we can connect anyone else who's interested. Thank you again for coming today, Kelsey and Keith. And I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.